what is the first one, beta? Law of your areas, or also known as Kepler's law of area. So what does it says? It covers equal areas in the equal intervals of your time. That is delta A by delta T will be equal to your angular ratio of your angular momentum divided by 2 times of your M. Very important relation, beta. One more is known as of your law of your Kepler's, law of your periods. Gurtunda? Sorry. So this one is
Yes,
you.
sir.
Chapo, sir, Kepler's law of your periods. Kepler's law of your periods. What is that one? Square of your time period is directly proportional to your cube of your distance between its rotation. So T square is directly proportional to your A cube. T square is directly proportional to what, beta? A cube part of relation.
A cube.
Ante kada?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Equal areas and equal intervals of time, sir. L by 2m LRD Ravi, sir. How did you get L by 2m, sir?
That is a derivation, beta.
Okay, sir.
General derivation actually. Derivation అంటే పెద్దగా మనకు ఇప్పుడు అవసరం ఉండదు, బట్ డైరెక్ట్ రిజల్ట్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకో, దట్ ఇస్ మోర్ దెన్ ఎనఫ్. ఎందుకంటే అడిగిపోతే మళ్ళీ మనకు 20 minutes డెరివేషన్ లోనే వెళ్ళిపోతుంది మళ్ళీ అన్నెసెసరీగా. ఓకేనా? Otherwise, if you need the derivation, I'll send you that one. That's not a problem. You can just go through the derivation once. If you are having any doubt, you can ask.
No need.
Okay, na? Chalo.
Okay.
Next one is nothing but of your law of your periods, in which a square of your time period is directly proportional to your cube of the distance, or we can say the radius of its rotation. Okay. Then third one is very important again.
Yes, sir.
Newton's laws of gravitation. So tell me, what is the force? What is the formula, beta? Force is directly proportional to the
GM.
your masses and inversely proportional to square of the distances. So F is equals to your G(m1) m2 divided by your r square.
Yes, sir.
So one more important relation again, intensity of gravitational field. Intensity of your gravitational field, that is Eg, or we represent it by your small g. Small g is equals to your capital G, capital M divided by your r square. So here I can write mass is equals to, in terms of volume into density, or mass is also equal to, volume is equals to 4 by 3 pi into your r cube into rho. So depending upon the relations, if it is giving in the ratios of your densities, you can write the in terms of your mass is equals to volume into density and simplify the relation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The mass of the earth can be given by the formula also from this one. M is equals to your G into your r square. M is equals to what I can write here? G into your r square. G into your r square divided by your capital G. So if I know the value of radius and acceleration due to gravity on that place, and G value is always constant anywhere, I can calculate the mass of your earth part of relation. In the same way, mass of your moon, mass of any planet, if I need it, if I know the gravitational field at that point, and if I know the radius, I can calculate the mass of that given planet. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, acceleration due to gravity at a certain height, GH is equals to your G divided by 1 plus H divided by capital R whole square. I hope you remember it. This formula is applicable for any
Yes, sir.
height. This formula is applicable for your any heights part of relation. For small heights, for H very, very lesser than of your R, I can make an approximation for this one. G at a certain height is equals to G into, if I take this one above, this will become for me -2 beta.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So I can use a binomial expansion. So minus
-2.
inside right now, so this will become for me 1 minus of 2h divided by capital R. Very famous relation for your competitive examination. Gravitation at a certain height is calculated by the formula G at h is equals to G into 1 minus of 2h by your R. This formula is applicable only if h is lesser than R. Isn't, like say 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, 500 kilometers, I can use this.
Depth and కూడా అనొచ్చు కదా, sir.
Depth is
We
again,
can see
if I'm talking about
different.
depth right now, with respect to the depth, if I'm taking G with respect to depth will be equal to G into 1 minus of h by R. 1 minus of your h by R. As you're going inside into the earth part of relation, at the center it almost all become for me 0, because if h is equals to your R, so that will become for me how much better? 1 minus 0. So gravity, acceleration due to gravity at that given depth will be equal to G into 1 minus R by R. Ante kada?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So these are the important relation, very famous relations, which you need to remember it every time, and it should be always on your tip of your fingers. So G at a certain depth is equals to G into 1 minus h by R, and G at a certain height is equals to G into 1 minus of 2h by your R part of relation. I hope you are clear with this one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Quite bit actually, otherwise it will be just a waste of your time also, because in the final examination also you need to directly remember the relations and try to do the problems. The more you practice the problems, the formulas will automatically be in your mind while doing the numerical. So this is a relation bulk. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next one. Effect of your rotation also. You know that due to the rotation of the earth also, acceleration due to gravity will be changing. You know that acceleration due to gravity at the equators and acceleration due to gravity at the poles is obviously quite different, isn't it? So with respect to the rotation, if I am writing, with respect to your rotation, G will be equal to your, or G dash is equals to your G minus of your R into your omega square into your cos square into lambda. Lambda is nothing but angle made by that one at a certain part, angle made by the relation, like theta will write generally, isn't it? Like say for example, this is your earth and this is your equator. If I'm standing somewhere here, so this is making an angle. So this angle I'm representing by lambda. And you know that acceleration due to gravity always acts towards the center of the earth. Whether the particle is inclined or anywhere, it is always acting towards the center. So do I need to take the G here or do I need to take the G here?
Downward.
No, downward, because when you're standing on the surface, it should always be towards the center of the earth. Na? So it should be your G here.
Yes,
if
sir.
you take an angle, so this will become for me G into your cos lambda. Ante kada? Because you
Yes,
know
sir.
that when you're standing on the earth, your acceleration due to gravity is always acting towards the center of the earth. And you know that earth is in a spherical part. So every particle on the surface of this body, when it is here right now, it is exactly at the center. When the body is somewhere here, then acceleration due to gravity is in this direction, but not on the down. Down is when it is on a plane surface. Then only acceleration due to gravity will be in the downward direction, like this normal. Hona kada?
Yes, sir.
So now that is your basic formula you need to remember better. So G dash with respect of your rotation will be equal to your G minus of R omega square into cos square into your phi bar. Now at equators, you tell me what will be the value of your phi beta? At equator. At equator, phi
Very less.
zero kada? Isn't it? Like say for example,
Yes,
if I
yes,
talk
sir.
about your equator part deflation, so this is your given condition, and this one is your equator. If I'm standing exactly on equator, what is the angle made by this one? Zero, kada?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? If
Yes,
I
sir.
go to the poles, so this is your pole. Now with respect to this one, you are making an angle of
90 degrees.
equals to 90 degrees. So at equator, what will be the acceleration due to gravity beta? G at your equator will be equal to G minus of R into
R omega square.
square. What will be the G at your poles beta? G at
G.
poles will be equal to how much?
Gravity only.
Gravity only. So at poles, if I'm taking right now, at poles, so lambda will be equal to 90 degrees. So acceleration due to gravity at the poles will be equal to the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth particle. Clear?
Yes, sir.
No. Now tell me in this one, if the acceleration due to gravity at the equator, if I'm taking right now, if acceleration due to gravity is becoming zero, then what will be the angular speed with which the earth will be rotating? In this condition, if I'm writing here, if G at your equator is becoming zero, that means this will become for me 0 is equals to G minus of R into omega square. So G will be
G is equal to R omega square.
omega square. So omega will be equal to under root of G by R. So this is the angular velocity with
Yes,
which
sir.
we will be rotating.
With which planet is rotating this?
Yeah, the planet.
Okay.
Okay. If it is Earth, we are talking about Earth. If it is any planet, we'll be writing the acceleration due to gravity with respect to the planet. But now we are talking with respect to your Earth only, Gabati. We will be taking the Earth into the consideration. So this is G at your poles. This is G at your equator's part of relation. And this is your angular velocity of the Earth right now when the acceleration due to gravity at equator is becoming for me zero. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Potential gurtunda? What do you call electric potential gurtunda? Otherwise?
Yes, sir.
Electric potential. Electric potential is nothing but what? Amount of work done by me to bring the unit positive charge from the infinity is known as potential difference. So potential
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
V is equals to your V is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Q1, Q2 by R.
Q1, Q2 by R is for energy.
That's it. Oh, okay, sir.
Isn't it? Energy is nothing but U is equals
M1,
to
M2 by R.
1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 by your R. Potential will be equal to how much better? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by your R. Gravitational electric field will be equal to how much better? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square.
Yes, sir.
అవునా కదా?
Okay, sir.
నేను
Yes, sir.
గ్రావిటేషన్ పొటెన్షియల్ ది ఒక చిన్న వీడియో నిన్నను మొన్న పెట్టాను, ఒకసారి ఉంటే చూడు. ఓకే చలో.
Yes, sir.
81 right now, this point if I'm writing. So potential with respect to gravity and a gravitational potential with respect to the surface will be equal to minus of your capital G, capital M divided by R. This is your outside some point. Okay. So this one is your outside. Annotations on 90. Okay, sure. So this one is your outside body. This is your outside body. Okay. Now, what will be the relation between the gravitational field and the gravitational potential, beta? Electrostatics E is equals to minus of dV by dr. The negative potential gradient is known as of your electric field. Relation between the electric field and potential.
Yes, sir.
Same way in the gravitation also we are having. So gravitational field will be equal to minus of your dV divided by your dr, or partial differentiation of the potential with respect to your R. Okay. Next one. If I'm talking about your potential energy.
Yes, sir.
Potential energy. What is the potential energy formula, beta? That will be equal to minus here capital G, capital M, small m divided by R. Same as that one, but here we will be having negative. There it will be your positive. In the electrostatics, it will be equal to how much? G into your K into your M1, M2 divided by R. Whereas in the gravitational potential energy of your Earth and the body system is given by the formula minus of your capital G, capital M, small m divided by your R part equation. Clear? The self energy concept of this is a really very important beta. That was really very important part equation. Okay, na?
Yeah.
So these are the basic formulas which should always be kept in mind while doing the numericals beta. Without this one, doing the numericals is not at all possible. So these are basic formulas which should always be kept in mind. And the gravitation anangane, these are the formulas which should always run in your mind. If these basic formulas in your mind, you can do some problems related to the gravitational chapter. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk about next one and very important beta. Motion by gravitational force. Motion by your gravitational force. Okay. Now, what do you mean by this one, beta? What do you mean by that? See, in the Newton's laws of gravitation, you know that whenever we talk about any two particles, force is equal to how much for me over G into
GM.
2 divided by R square. Ona.
Yes, sir.
And the gravitational force is always
Yes,
what? Attractive or repulsive?
Attractive.
It will be an attractive
force.
One body will be attracting your another body right now. There is no negative mass, but we don't have a negative term in this one, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Like in the electrostatics, you have the positive charge and negative charge. We don't have a negative mass. We don't have a negative mass. But if I'm writing a negative sign in the gravitational force, it means it is just representing the direction. Okay, na? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now see,
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about the particles which are moving towards each other due to the mutual attraction. That is one way by which the gravitational force is exerting, isn't it? Like say for example, this is one particle of your M1 and this is another particle of your M2. They may be mutually moving towards each other, isn't it? So there may be a gravitational force existing between them. That is one case. Inko case la, a particle moving in a circular path, like the electron revolving around your nucleus, there is also a gravitational force.
Yes,
so they need not move in the straight line. They can also be in the circular path, isn't it? That means the particle is right now rotating about their common axis. They are rotating about your common axis. Isn't it? That means in these both cases, we can fix one of them and the particle to be considered as a reduced mass concept and try to do the problems. You see, there are two types of motions in this one beta. The problems generally we get two types. Motion by gravitational force one in the straight line. That is M1 and M2 madala directly force. F is equals to G into your M1 M2 divided by R square. The another one is nothing but a central. There will be a nucleus, one particle of mass m. There is another particle of mass of small m. About this common axis, this charge particle or this mass will be rotating. So at the time when we have two mass, we'll be using the reduced mass concept. That is right now mu is equals to your. We'll be taking the concept of your M1 M2 divided by your M1 plus of your F2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? That means in both the cases, when we fix one of them and move a particle to the reduced mass towards the fixed point, then the numerical will become much easy to do the condition. So I tell you how it is possible. Don't get confused. So I'll remove this one, everything. So if I'm talking about your first one, see in this one, I'm talking about your first one. In this one, if I'm talking about, so if a particle is moving towards each other, okay, we generally have what formula beta? F is equals to your G into M1
G
M2 by
M1 M2 by R.
By R square.
I'm not doing by that one. What I'm doing is right now, I'm writing the condition to do. Particles move towards each other. Very important relation towards each other. Now, in this case, either we ask to the relative acceleration or velocity of approach. At that time, how do we do the problems? So the condition is right now for me. When he asks about, I can say, velocity of approach, velocity of your approach of particles. Okay, or he can also ask you about relative acceleration. Chances because this particle is moving like this and this particle is moving like this. This is M1 and this is M2. This is having V1 and this is having V2. So obviously
V2.
there is relative velocity of approach, and also when there is a velocity means obviously there is also what? Acceleration. That means we can apply the mechanics concept
Acceleration.
right now, isn't it? So he may be asking about your relative velocity of approach of the particle, or he may ask you about your relative acceleration. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now what I'll do is in this one, I'll take the
Yes,
diagram. So this is your particle of mass M1, and this one is your another particle of mass of your M2. Now what I'll do is I'll keep the M1 as of your fixed. I'll keep the M1 as of your fixed and make this particle to move towards this one right now. With their acceleration, say for example, AR, and the distance between them is say for example, R. And we are considering this M2 to be equal to right now reduced mass, that is nothing but equal to your mu. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
I'm reducing the reduced mass because both of them are approaching, but I'm making one particle fixed, but actually both of them are moving. So when I keep the one particle as of your fix and the reference, the another particle M2 might be moving towards the M1. Or if I keep M2 to be the fix, M1 will be moving towards your M2 particulation. At that time, when I'm keeping or when I'm fixing one point, we'll be using the concept of your reduced mass. So at that time, relative acceleration, I can write the formula. Relative acceleration is equals to force divided by mass. What is the mass I'll be writing here? Mu. Okay. When the two particles are moving in a straight line, I'll keep the first particle as a fixed, and I'll assume that other particle is being moving towards the M1. In that case, the relative acceleration is written by the formula A is equals to your F by your mu. Is that
F by
so what is
mu means sum of both the masses, sir.
Yeah. So now right now the force between them, force will be equal to G into your M1 M2 divided by your R square, and reduce
M1 M2 by R square.
M1 into your M2 divided by your
M1 M1 M2.
of your M2.
M1 plus M2.
Isn't it? Anything is getting cancelled in this one, beta. This M1 and this M1 will get cancelled. So relative acceleration will come out for me. Your AR will be equal to your, this will be equal
G
to
of
your M1 plus of your M2.
M1 plus M2 by R square.
This will be the relative acceleration. Is it clear? Very important.
Yes,
When two particles are being moving, like say, what is the condition I told you? When a particles are moving towards each other, there are two famous questions on which will be asked. One thing is for the JEE means he may be asking about you the velocity of approach, or he may be asking you about your relative acceleration. If he is asking about relative acceleration, then direct formula is how much for me? AR will be equal to your AR is equals to G into your M1 plus M2 divided by your R square. Again, I can't keep go on derive this derivation examination hall better. Very important application. Direct nectar is sunano. So it will reduce your time behind that, not doing much in depth of your detailed theory related to this one. Directly relative acceleration, very simple language I have been given you application. So whenever you get such type of questions, either okkasa revise chesukondi 99% you can do the problems related to this one. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm talking about velocity of approach. Velocity of your approach. Velocity of your approach. That means if a particle is starting from a very large distance, then velocity of approach will be equal to how much? Better now tell me, when two particles are moving in opposite direction, how do you write the relative velocity? Better? How do you write the relative velocity? If this is a particle of mass M1 and and this is moving with a velocity of say v1, and this is your particle of a mass of your m2, very large distance, and it is moving with a velocity say for example of your v2. Okay, and distance between them is say for example of your r. Okay, now tell me, now what is the relative velocity of this one when they are moving in opposite direction?
M1 M2 V2 minus.
Respect to BLR assumption, VA minus VB.
Yes, sir.
We are moving in opposite direction means VA minus this will be minus. That means this will become for me
VB
A plus VB.
VA plus. Yes, sir.
That means here the relative velocity can be written as what better? V relative will be equal to your V1 plus V2 on right.
Yes, sir.
Because both
Yes,
of
sir.
them are moving in opposite direction. So relative velocity will be equal to V1 plus V2. Now see, now tell me when these two particles are moving towards each other, there is a relative velocity and also there is one more force existing between them. What is that? Gravitational force.
Gravitation force. Yes.
Isn't it? So now, and if when they are at very larger distance, their final velocity will be equal to how much beta? 0. Because when the particle is at infinity, potential energy will be 0, and the reference point we always take everything to be the 0.
0. Yes, sir.
Next, in the work power energy, we know that at reference, the gravitational potential energy on the particle will become for me 0, and it will be at the rest. So if I'm applying the concept of that one, then the relative velocity of approach means the kinetic energy of this system is right now half into your relative velocity because of reduced mass mu into your VR square, plus this will be equal to gravitational force in opposite direction. So it is capital G into your M1 into your M2 divided by your
M1 M2 by R square.
0. Why it is 0? Because final kinetic energy, initial potential energy and your final potential energy will be your 0 condition. So total energy at your infinity
0.
as of your 0, because I'm using a word called larger distance, isn't it? So when it is at large distance,
Yes, sir. Infinity.
and this will become how much for me right now? Initial kinetic energy of this one is half into mu into your VR square. This is minus of your capital G into your M1 M divided by your R.
M1 M2.
0. So I can write from this one.
Yes, sir.
Half into,
Yes, sir.
into your VR square will be equal to your G into your M1 into your M divided by your R.
M1 M2 by R.
Nothing is getting cancelled.
No, sir.
Is getting cancelled. So
Yes,
relative I can write here V relative is equals to, this will become for me under root of your
2G1.
G into your M1
2G1 M1 M2
by your, this will become
by R omega. R nu.
Antena?
Yes, sir.
So what is the mu value? Mu is equals to how much for me? M1 into your M2 divided by M1 plus M2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So these are the two applications that is very important in the gravitation. One is how do you calculate the velocity of approach? When it is the velocity of approach, relative velocity of approach is V1 plus of your V2, and they also have the gravitational potential energy between them. So initial kinetic energy, that is nothing but of your half into
Half
M
into nu R.
gravitational potential energy minus of G into M1 M2 divided by R must be equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because at a larger distance gravitational potential energy and the system will be at the rest property, the total energy at that time I'm taking it as of your 0. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
These are two very, very important application. So compulsory gurtupetukovalsina method and important models. Again, you need not go much depth. I have told you that by applying the law of conservation of mechanical energy in a simple language, how do we apply the relations? Clear? Reduced mass concept is formula is how much for me? Mu is equal to M1 M2 divided by M1 plus
M1 plus M2.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm talking about this one, this is also very important in the part if it is rotation of your particle about your common axis. Regular class lo aithe ee topics manaku general ga almost like 3 to 4 days padutundi. With the 2 hours of your discussion, 2 hours of your time in a classroom, it will take almost like 4 to 6 hours of your depth of understanding for this topic. But if level I'm not even wasting your time much behind that all the given conditions. I'm giving you exact nectar whichever is required for doing the numericals related to this chapter. Okay, na? Chalo.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Of the particle about your common axis. And both the particles will be having here common velocity.
Common axis.
Draw the diagram for this one. So this is your particle, and this is your into shape, and one more particle is moving. So and there is a common axis right now for this one beta. The each and every particle in this one. So if I'm taking right now 2 particles right now for the given condition, and this is your center of your common axis, I can say, not center of mass, common axis right now, and both the particles are moving. The outer radius, I'm taking it as of your R1 into shape. Here there is one particle, and here there is one particle. This particle motion is in this direction, and this particle motion is in this direction. And the distance of this one from here to here, this one is nothing but equal to your R2. And both of them are rotating about one common axis. Try to understand the diagram. This is your angular velocity omega. Okay?
Okay, sir.
And
Yes,
it is
sir.
between the two particles. This particle is, say, for example, of your M1. This I'll take it as M2, and this one is I'm taking it as M1. The distance between these two particles is, say, for example, of R.
R1
R1.
minus R2.
Yeah, R will be equal to how much for me? In place of your R2, isn't it? Now, tell
Yes,
me,
sir.
when it is moving in the centripetal force, when the moving in the circular path of relation, now you know what is the force responsible for a particle to move in the circular path?
Centripetal force.
Force will be equal to how much for me? G
MV square.
M1
G.
into your M2 divided by your R square. Just let me.
Yeah.
So it is your M1 into your M2. This one is G into your M1 into M2 divided by your R square. Force will be equal to your, this will be equal to how much beta? Centripetal force formula is F is equals to your M into V square divided by R. But here this M is nothing but reduced mass. So it is mu into V square divided by R, centripetal force. And because two particles are moving about one common axis. So it is mu. V is equals to what I can write? R square into omega square divided by R. This one will get cancelled. So it is mu into R into your omega square. Okay. This is mu into your R into your omega square. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Because we are assuming the two particles are moving at a time in the common axis, isn't it? So in the both the cases, what we are doing, we are fixing one of the particles and we are reducing the particles to your masses of your M1 and M2 divided by M1 plus of your M2. So that means from here I can get the angular velocity of the system. So omega will be equal to your under root of your
G M1 M2
M2 divided
by R cube.
mu into your R cube. Isn't it?
Yes.
So you know already what is mu? Mu is equals to your M1 M2 divided by M1 plus M2.
M1 plus M2.
Equal to your M1 into your M2 divided by your M1 plus of
M1 plus M2.
Okay. So now if I substitute that value and simplify it, how much I'm getting beta? Omega is equals to under root of your, this is G into your M1 into your M2 divided by, this is your M1 into your M2 divided by your M1 plus
M1 plus M2 into R cube.
So this one and this one will get cancelled everywhere. So omega will be equal to how much for me? Under root
G
of
M1 plus M2
M1 plus of your M2
by
divided
R
by
cube.
your R cube. This is very important relation. The common axis. And then I by T is such a problem. Time period formula Japan sir, T is equals to 2 pi by
2 pi by F.
So that will be equal to 2 pi under root of your how much for me? This will become for me R cube
R.
by G into your
M1 plus M2.
So now can I get from this one Kepler's third law? Squaring on the both the sides. That will become for me. T square is proportional to R cube.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So that is actually the application of your Kepler's third law part of relation. So these are the some of the
Yes.
important
Kepler's law.
which you need to remember for doing the numericals related to this one. Is it clear? Is it clear, beta? Any doubt in this?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
So that was about your basic things which you should be able to do. This is also one of the important formula. Today math class is done by you, beta. Math class is kunare rosa.
ఈరోజు తీసుకోలేదు. ఓ ఈరోజు తీసుకున్నారు, సారీ సార్.
తీసుకున్నారా?
ఈరోజు తీసుకున్నారు.
So I hope you are clear with these two concepts, beta. In this one, these two are very, very important concept, beta. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు వరకు మనం మాట్లాడింది particles కే కదా. If I'm talking about rigid bodies, at that time, what will you do, beta? Okay, one is a rigid body and say for example part deflation. At that time, how do you talk about? Like say for example, for rigid bodies until like thin rod. Okay, so at that time, like say
Areas will change.
yeah, we'll be using a little bit of your integration method. Like say this is your spherical body. Okay, and here is right now, say for
Yes.
example, a rod. Sorry. And here somewhere there is a rod on. Okay, in that case, like say this is your mass of your capital M. Okay, and this is your mass of small m, and distance between them is nothing but of your L. Okay, and the distance between from here to the center of this particle is, say for example, some x or a, anything. So we'll be using what concept here, beta? We'll be using one small particle in this one.
Dx.
One will be equal to dm. How do you write for the linear body, beta? Cutted mass by original mass will be equal to your cutted length by your original length.
Original length.
Isn't it? So 1D dimension.
Yes, sir.
2D dimension కి ఎలా రాస్తాం మనము? Cutted mass by original mass will be equal to cutted area by your original area. That is for your 2D. For 3D
Yes.
dimensions, how do you write the relations, beta? Cutted mass by your
Volume.
original mass is equals to cutted volume by your original volume. This is for your 3 dimensions body. Okay. So we'll be
Yes, sir.
using integration at a time. So df will be equal to your integral of your g into your, this is your dm into your capital M divided by distance between
R.
will be equal to your a plus of your
A.
here this distance is equals to some x or l, whatever it may be, isn't it? So whatever the distance you take, ఇక్కడ నుంచి center నుంచి తీసుకున్నాను కాబట్టి this distance also I'll take from the center. I'll take this one up to the center right now like this. ఇక్కడ వరకు
A only. Sir.
of your a right now. So if I'm taking some distance, you can just make sure that x part and try to integrate with the proper limits. So for example, this one is nothing but of your x square. You will get the answer for that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one is again important. That is force between arc of mass, capital M, and a particle. And a particle of mass M. ఇది మీరు గ్రావిటీ దాంట్లో కూడా చేసి ఉంటారు ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్ లో. ఫర్ ఎనీ ఆర్క్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ సర్కిల్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద జనరల్ ఫార్ములా గుర్తుందా? సో ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ దిస్ ఈస్ యువర్ ఆర్క్ which is making an angle of your theta right now. So this is making an angle of your theta. This is the center, and this is your bisector of this one. Total angle made by this one is, say for example, theta, and this one is a theta. Mass of this arc is m, and this is of your radius r, and somewhere here there is a particle of mass mod. Okay, will there be a gravitational force between them or not? Capital M and small m, there will be a gravitational force.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Force between them, the big derivation better, directly remember the relation. F is equals to capital G, capital M, small m divided by your capital R square into your sine theta divided by theta. Theta should always be taken in terms of your radians. Theta should always be taken in terms of your radians.
Radiance.
General formula you need to remember. And this formula is applicable for any arc of a circle beta. That means now this arc of a circle can be of any angle. It may be 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, 270 degrees, isn't it? 45 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Directly I can take the answer. And theta should always be in what? Radians. Like say for example, if I'm talking about for semicircular arc. Semicircular arc. Now tell me what
180 degrees.
theta will be equal to your 180 divided by 2 kada?
Yes, sir.
Semicircular. అంతేనా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
సెమీసర్క్యులర్ ఆర్క్ అంటే ఎట్లా నాన్న?
Half.
If this is an arc like this.
Quadrant. Okay.
Okay, this is a quadrant,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? This is your quadrant. Right now, the total angle what I have taken right now for this one, theta. That means for this one, if I am taking a semicircle, that will become for me how much? 2 theta kada?
Yes, sir.
This 2 theta must
2
be
times of.
right now 180 degrees kada?
Yes, sir.
అంతేనా? అర్థమైందా?
అర్థమైంది, sir.
Okay. When theta is equals to pi by 2, if it is that relation, then force will be equal to how much beta? Capital G into capital M into small m divided by
By R
integral
square.
sign. This theta will be equal to pi by 2 divided by this one is pi by 2. So how much
Yes.
are we getting the answer for this one? So this will be equal
G
to
mm
the
2G
times of
capital
G capital M small m divided by
by R
pi
R square.
r square. So that will be the force between them. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? If theta is 90 degrees and ide kada, theta is nothing but equal to this one, 180 divided by 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I can calculate for any angle కదా 360 degrees కి అయితే theta is equals ఎంత తీసుకుంటాం మనం 2 pi.
2 pi.
So force ఎంత
2 pi
వస్తుంది?
by sin 2 pi by 2 pi. 2 pi g mm sin 360 minus 1.
Sin 360 ఎంత?
1 sir.
1 divided by your 2 pi.
Yes sir.
అంతే
g
కదా?
mm by 2 pi r square.
అంతే బేసికల్ గా. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
That was some of the basic conditions you need to remember. And this formula is very important beta. And this is a time consuming and timeless what the తక్కువ time లో చేసుకోవడానికి. If you're going for regular classes, we'll be doing the complete derivations of this one. వీటన్నిటికీ derivation చేస్తాం మనం. కానీ అది
Yes,
మనకి
Yes, sir.
it will be waste of your time తప్పితే ఏమి ఉండదు ఇప్పుడు. During the revision part, you only need to remember how to do the numericals and how to remember the direct formula so that it will be helpful for doing the numericals related to that topic. Okay na?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me do one more problem on this one basically. Problem రాయనా మీ దగ్గర గ్రావిటేషన్ ఏమైనా అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
ఉన్నాయి సార్.
పంపించండి నాకు సార్ చేపించేసుకుంటా.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ యాక్చువల్గా లేదు సార్.
ఇప్పుడు లేదా?
లేదు సార్. అంటే అప్పుడు కాలేజీలో చెప్పారు సార్, అప్పుడు పీడిఎఫ్స్ లేదు.
పీడిఎఫ్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే పంపిస్తే నేను కొంచెం చేపించుకుంటాను మరి. పీడిఎఫ్ లేదా?
లేదు.
ఇంకేమున్నాయి గ్రావిటేషన్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ వన్ బేటా? You have done everything కదా almost all గా ప్లస్ క్లాస్ కోర్సెస్ అండ్
Satellite.
ఓకే
Satellite orbital.
సాటిలైట్స్ ఒకటి ఉంది కదా, తొందరగా చెప్పేసి సాటిలైట్స్ ఒకసారి రఘుగా చెప్పేసుకుంటాను. సో విల్ స్టార్ట్ డూయింగ్ ద న్యూమరికల్స్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇన్ ద టుమారో సెషన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ క్లాస్. ఓకేనా?
Okay sir.
Satellites.
Yes, sir.
So what are the two different types of the satellites beta? One is orbital velocity, another one is your escape velocity. Orbital velocity means the satellites which are revolving around the surface of your earth. Like say if this is your earth and there is a satellite just above this one. This is the small satellite which is been revolving around the earth, which is very close to the surface of the earth. They are called as orbital velocity. So this is your V naught. Okay, so this one is distance is how much better from here to here. This distance will be equal to your small r. The small r will be equal to this will be the radius r plus of your h. Ante kada? Because
Yes,
from this height will be equal to your h. Rabga తీసుకుంటున్నాను. Orbital velocity will be equal to under root of your g into capital M divided by small r. Or else I can write this one, V naught is equals to under root of, we know the relation small g is equals to capital G capital M divided by r square. So g into your M I can write as g into your capital R square. This is your capital R square, and I can write this one as g into your capital R square divided by your R. Can I write like this?
Yes sir.
So once I know that we know,
Yes,
I
sir.
can even calculate the time period. In the time period వచ్చిన formula t is equals to 2 pi under root of your r cube divided by g into your capital A. Okay. Now what about your so what do you call that one? In terms of small g, if your h is very nearer to the surface of the earth, that means h will be very less. But we can neglect the value of your r.
Yes sir.
If small r is equals to your capital R, then orbital velocity will become how much for me beta? V naught is equals to under root of
g m.
is small
Yes.
r because capital R is called ikkada, isn't it? Very close to
Yeah.
the of the earth. That means if h is very, very lesser than of your r, so at that time r will be approximately equal to your r. Then orbital velocity will also be written as of your under root of your g into your r. What is the orbital
Right.
velocity of the satellite beta? It should be 8 kilometer per second. And in a second, if that satellite is been moving with 8 kilometer per second, then it can be revolving around the surface of your earth. And how much should be the time taken for this one? T is equals to 2 pi under root of your capital R by your G. Why? Small r I'm taking capital R cube, capital G into M will be equal to G into R square. So keep here G into R square. I'll be getting this formula.
Root over, yes, sir.
Yeah, so if the value of this one is approximately 84.6 minutes something. So this is a time taken for. Okay, if these
Sir, are these fixed values, sir? G.
There is a fixed value. That means if I am what do you call that, making a satellite to move with a minimum velocity of 8 kilometer per second, then only the particle will be revolving around the earth. ఇప్పుడు చూడు మనకు పార్కింగ్ స్పేస్ అనేది కొనాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు మన ఇది ఎర్త్ అనుకుందాం, మనము ఇప్పుడు there are different countries, like now for us the super power is nothing like America. So America is already having some space in the vacuum until the they have been bought a space. In this region, you can't make our satellites to involved in that one, isn't it? Like say for example, Sriharikota or maybe an ISRO, when we are launching the satellites, we need to take the permission from these countries. What is your basic range in which we can launch our satellite? So according to that, we need to give the velocities. Minimum velocity is 8 kilometer. It may be 1 kilometer, it may be 10 kilometer. That is the height to which you are going. ఇప్పుడు మనం 8 కిలోమీటర్ 9 కిలోమీటర్ 10 కిలోమీటర్స్ పోవాలనుకుంటే మనకేమవుతుంది, బడ్జెట్ పెరిగిపోతుంటది. ఎందుకంటే you need to have more specific type of gadgets to make the satellites and to so that it can be moving with that much amount of your velocities. అంటే more powerful, more consumption and more. That is the reason that parking space ఎప్పుడైతే మనం తీసుకుంటున్నాం satellites పైన, orbital velocity, minimum velocity is like 8 kilometers. We may be giving it 8.5, 8.2, 8.3. Then the radius around the surface of the earth will be changing. Like because around the earth right now, we are having the different satellites which have been revolving. One is because one satellite is reading only the atmosphere for weather casting. Another one is for the military purpose. Another is for your, like say, military purpose, or maybe another for your, what do you call that one, TV signals. అవునా కదా, వీటన్నిటికీ మనకు satellites కావాలి. One satellite cannot do that all work కదా. And ఒకటే orbit లో we can't keep them one, because if I'm keeping in the one single orbit and all the velocities are same, there will be a collision. So that is the reason the orbit are revolving should be slightly different. That means every time whenever you are launching your satellite, the speed and the time and the calculations will be changing. That is the reason there will be a failure. Last time our satellites ఒకటి మనకు fail అయింది. The reason was because of this only, because of the miscalculations. విన్నారా? Satellites పంపించినప్పుడు
yes sir, yes sir.
అవునా కదా?
అవును sir.
Yes sir.
Not our area, that you can do it in your IITs. But right now for the JEE mains, the time period to revolve any orbit, any satellite around the earth, it should be equal to how much for me? 84.6 minutes should be the minimum time, and minimum orbital velocity should be equal to your 8
kilometer per second.
It should be the minimum particle relation. Is that clear?
Yes sir.
Then what is the kinetic energy of the satellites? Kinetic energy of the satellite will be capital G, capital M, small m divided by 2 into your R. Very, very important relation. And potential energy of the satellite, because as the satellite is at a certain height and revolving body, they will be having the potential energy formula capital G, capital M, small m divided by your R. Okay, these are the two standard formulas you need to remember. If I know the kinetic energy and potential energy, can I calculate the total energy? So total energy will be equal to sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy.
Plus potential energy, yes sir. GMM by R
divided by 2 into R. This will be minus of your capital G, capital M, small m divided by your R. So how much I'll be getting?
Yes sir.
minus
of capital G, capital M, small m divided by 2 into R.
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
That means
Yes,
potential energy is right now, total energy is in terms of negative. So can I say that total energy and kinetic energy are one and the same beta? See the kinetic energy and total energy formula. They are one and the same, only sign is different. So can I say
yes,
that
sir.
kinetic energy is equals to minus of total energy?
Yes sir.
Kinetic
Yes,
energy equals to minus of total energy. That will be equal to your how much beta? Minus of your half of potential energy. This is the important relation you need to remember between the potential energy, kinetic energy and total energy. Clear? Kinetic energy is negative of total energy. Total energy I am representing it by letter E beta.
Yes sir.
Okay,
is equals to minus potential energy by 2.
and total energy will be kinetic energy is also equal to how much for me? Minus of your U by T. Clear?
Yes, sir.
One more and last one is escape velocity. Escape velocity. Almost all the formulas we have done in this one, beta. Escape velocity formula VE is equals to under root of your 2 times of capital G capital M divided by your R. Orbital velocity length on the sorry. Orbital velocity is under root of your G into your M. Here it is
GR.
of your capital G capital M by your R. So again, if I'm writing this relation, this will be equal to under root of 2G into your capital R. I hope you got an idea how do we get it, isn't it? So G
Yes,
into,
sir.
how much for me? G into capital R square. So you substitute that value, you'll get this one. And the value of this one is approximately 11.2 kilometer per second. That means in order to make a satellite escape the surface of the Earth, the minimum escape velocity should be equal to how much for me? 11.2 kilometer per second. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Minimum velocity with which you need to remember for the escaping a satellite from the surface of your Earth. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you mean by geostationary satellites, beta? The satellites whose time period is exactly equal to the Earth's time period.
24 hours, sir.
What is the Earth's time period? Obviously 24 hours, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that was about your basic relation. So by this, I have revised you fastly the complete gravitation ones. We need to do the numerical so that we can get a grip on this topic. Especially with your integration methods, there are some good applications for the JEE mains. Even if you see some of the previous year's JEE questions, there are some good number of your questions, but basic formulas ఇది మాత్రం మనకి ఎప్పుడు చేతిలో ఉండాలి. దీనికంటే ఎక్కువ నాలెడ్జ్ మనకు పెద్దగా అవసరం ఉండదు, ఇంకా డెప్త్ లో వెళ్ళాల్సిన కూడా అవసరం లేదు. Unless and until you're very much clear about your advance. Advance లో పోతే మళ్ళీ ఈ టాపిక్ మళ్ళీ నీకు రేంజ్ ఆఫ్ టీచింగ్ చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది కంప్లీట్ గా. We can't go the way how we are
Yes,
going right now, isn't it? Because that needs another level of your understanding and another level of your derivations, another level of your applications of that one. But for the mains, it is not required. So directly we can remember this one. So these are the basic methods or basic formulas we should always kept in your mind for doing the numericals. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll go for the numericals in the next session of your class whenever it is comfortable for you. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Please చెప్పండి. గ్రావిటేషన్ అన్ని కవర్ అయిపోయినాయి, ఇంకేమైనా కవర్ కాలేదు చూడండి. Especially this is important data. Motion of your satellite is చెప్పాను చూడండి. This is important. దీనిపైన కొంచెం ఎక్కువ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయండి. Particle moving towards your each other and the velocity of an approach and your velocity of your approach concept. The velocity of your approach concept, relative acceleration and velocity of approach formulas. And this one is also rotation of the particles about your common axis. ఇది కూడా కొంచెం కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ గా చదవండి సరిపోతుంది. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll try to do the numericals. I'll send you today some assignment related to this.
Yes, sir.
In the next session of your class, we'll try to go for the new working on this one. Okay?
Okay.
This కూడా ట్రై చేయండి అన్న, మీకు ఏదైనా వీకెండ్ టైమ్స్ దొరికితే మేము చేసేసుకుందాం. ఒక 3-4 క్లాసెస్ ఏమైనా ఇవ్వగలుగుతారంటే కంటిన్యూటీగా we can do it out. అదర్వైజ్ ఇదే ఫాస్ట్నెస్ లో కూడా మనం
Okay, sir.
ఆప్టిక్స్ బేసిక్ ఉందంటే మాత్రం ఇదే లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ స్పీడ్ లో కూడా కంప్లీట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు మనం. ఓకేనా?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
టేక్ కేర్ బేటా. బాయ్.
Thank you, sir.